the number 24, which is...
On October 24th, the ISU attacked the base of Russia's strategic aviation. Dyagilevo was blown up. At the time of the strike, there were 20 aircraft at the site, two 95MS, two 22M3, and two 134, which constantly attacked Ukraine.
It's an absolute nightmare. It's escalating.
Last night, there was an explosion in the area of the Saki airfield in Novofyodorovka. Enemy tactical aviation was blown up there. Everything is burning.
After a short period of time,
Putin's demonstration of nuclear exercises using strategic nuclear aviation, we blew it up at the Dyagilevo airfield. Railways are being sabotaged in the Leningrad region, and a thermal power plant was blown up in the Moscow region. Voice is gradually approaching Moscow, and large-scale blackouts are expected there.
Holy shit, it's going off like crazy over there.
Good morning, friends. It's October 24th, and we have sensational news. Last night, we attacked the Dyagilevo airfield. Putin's strategic nuclear aviation is based there. It's fucked. We took out Fantomas. Everything at Dyagilevo is blown up. Stationed there are two 95MS, two 22M3, and two 134 UBL bombers, which are used to attack Ukraine. Next to the airfield is the 360th Aviation Repair Plant. We struck with Storm Shadow missiles, ATACMS, and trusty Ukrainian drones. The oil refinery in Ryazan is also under attack. Our trusty drones are striking successfully. Local residents report that access to the oil refinery is closed off, blocked, and explosions can be heard. Friends, last night the Dyagilevo airfield was attacked, where Russia's strategic aviation is based. The two 22M3, two 134 UBL, and two 95MS, which terrorize Ukraine every night. When Putin conducts his nuclear exercises using strategic aviation, we strike it the very next night. Bravo to Ukrainian missiles and the missiles from our partners, to the Storm Shadow strikes. Thank you very much. Friends from the United Kingdom and Europe, thank you for providing them. Also, very important news is that Donald Trump will most likely supply Tomahawks to Ukraine. The first batch will include 10 missiles, then 30, and then 50. This is being reported by sources from the White House and President Zelensky. He made an official statement that the Tomahawks will arrive as soon as tomorrow. So this week, Trump imposed sanctions against Russia. Lukoil, Rosneft, and their subsidiaries are under sanctions. The Chinese and Indians are already refusing to import Russian oil and petroleum products. Chinese state-owned companies have already stopped purchasing Russian oil and petroleum products. Putin is furious. Listen to how he responds.
But if such weapons, meaning these advanced and potentially devastating armaments, are ever used in any way to strike or attack Russian territory, the response from Russia will be very serious, if not absolutely overwhelming and decisive. Let them think about that very carefully. He
is preparing for a new nuclear strike. He is so scared and he got so frightened that Putin is preparing a response.
The fact that they decided to cancel the purchase of our toilets will definitely cost them dearly. I truly believe that these toilets would have come in very handy in today's situation.
The response will be very serious and overwhelming. Putin commented on long-range strikes against Russia because President Zelensky made a statement that we will strike 3,000 kilometers deep into Russian territory with Ukrainian missiles, and most likely not only with them.
This is an attempt to put pressure on Russia. But no self-respecting country and no self-respecting people ever make decisions under pressure.
The Russian Ministry of Defense has ordered 56 cruise missiles from the caliber family with nuclear warheads. The contract must be fulfilled by the end of 2026. Let us recall that earlier Russia conducted a nuclear exercise. This is an attempt at escalation. But if such weapons are used to strike Russian territory, the response will be very serious. In other words, Putin is trying to escalate with a nuclear test in Kamchatka, an exercise simulating attacks on the United States of America. As I said last time, yesterday the White House has prepared a response, a strike, and serious sanctions. Sky News and the reputable Financial Times have reported that these economic sanctions will have a significant impact on Russia's military economy and will force Putin to agree to a ceasefire along the line of contact, along the front line, which is exactly what Donald Trump wants. This is very important, and Putin will most likely be ready within a few weeks to meet with Trump and announce that he is prepared to cease fire along the front line. This is truly a serious event that is worth discussing, and we are delivering massive strikes on oil refineries and military targets. We are causing blackouts on Russian territory and moving towards Moscow. So The good drones had their fun in Ryazan last night. The Ryazan oil refinery was attacked. These are serious strikes. Subscribers report an explosion near the Saki airfield in Novofedorivka. There is enemy tactical aviation station there. It was struck. There was a powerful explosion in Chelyabinsk. Last night, a facility that supplied parts for the military-industrial complex exploded. There are military personnel who died there, who worked at the military plant. This is a military facility, a legitimate military target. The most advanced developments for the Russian Federation's military-industrial complex. The fact that this was carried out in Chelyabinsk, Karl, is simply a brilliant special operation by the armed forces of Ukraine, the SBU, General Malyuk, Budanov, and of course the Ukrainian military. By the way, the FSB has completely sealed off the area and there are explosions in the Chelyabinsk region. Also last night, the Ryazan oil refinery, which is part of Rosneft, was attacked. Sanctions, greetings to Trump. In recent years, processing has actually been 13 million tons per year. The General Staff has already officially confirmed the strikes on the Ryazan oil refinery and the ammunition depot in the Belgorod region. All night and all evening, there were non-stop attacks on the Belgorod region with large-scale
blackouts, such as power blackouts.
The Ryazan oil refinery is one of the largest in central Russia and belongs to the company Rosneft. With a capacity of over 17 million tons of oil processing per year, its production facilities have been damaged, weakening the logistics of supplying Russian troops. Explosions at the tractor plant in Chelyabinsk. The Bryansk chemical plant, which was hit by an explosion, the nighttime frontline industrial and production repair base of Russia. A very interesting topic is that the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs officially wrote to Peter Sijarto, stating that the armed forces of Ukraine should attack, blow up, and destroy the Druzhba oil pipeline. Let's recall that over the past 3 days, 3 oil refineries connected to Russian oil, which pump Russian oil from the Druzhba pipeline, have been attacked, specifically in Bratislava, Hungary, and Romania. Greetings, as they say, to our concerned partisans who are carrying out these sabotage operations in Europe against Russian and pro-Russian oil refineries. Also last night, the 500-kilowatt Azama substation in the Nizhny Novgorod region was attacked. There is no electricity in Lyko. In Belgorod region and Smolensk region, thermal power plants were attacked. There is also no electricity, heat, or water there. And what's most interesting is that when I talk to military analyst Roman Svidan, he always tells me, Dasha, the energy systems in Russia and Ukraine are completely different. And that's why, in order to leave Moscow without power, you can attack key thermal power plants in a ring around Moscow so that there will be neither electricity nor water. And what is Ukraine doing right now? Attack Yemes, Storm Shadow, and of course our drones. They are systematically, methodically attacking power substations in order to leave the capital of Mordor without electricity, heat, or water. We're freezing, wolf's tail. And then some interesting information appeared that the US had supposedly lifted a key restriction on Ukraine's use of long-range missiles supplied by its allies. And then Trump says, no, it wasn't us, it was Europe. But Europe really did lift it. That's why Moscow, St. Petersburg, Yaroslavl, and dozens of other major Russian cities are now within range of Ukrainian missiles. And of course, one of the main news stories is the massive energy crisis in Russia. Today, 85% of Russia's regions are suffering from a gasoline shortage. There's no gasoline, but hang in there. Let's rephrase Medvedev's famous catchphrase, the alcoholic. Gasoline is running out all over Russia, from Kaliningrad to Vladivostok. People are standing in line for hours to get fuel. In many regions, they won't sell more than 20 liters to one person. Ration cards and coupons are being introduced everywhere. Hello, Soviet Union. In occupied Crimea, even diesel fuel has already disappeared. This is very important. Since the beginning of the year, Ukrainian drones have attacked Russian oil refineries more than 40 times. The authorities of the occupiers are trying to pretend that it's just a regular seasonal crisis, and they're even using bots for this. Today, Mikhail Shatriman told me, watch the interview on my YouTube channel, it will be out this evening, that the energy crisis in Mongolia is connected to the fact that Russia has always supplied oil products and crude oil. But since, starting in August, Russia has banned the export of oil products, Mongolia is now facing a colossal crisis because Russian oil products are no longer coming in. And let's remember that right now Russia is buying these very same oil products from Belarus and China. This, of course, is serious news. Meanwhile, the British Navy, for the first time on a direct order from NATO, intercepted a Russian military ship in its waters, according to Sky News. The destroyer Duncan and a Wildcat helicopter stopped the large anti-submarine ship Vice Admiral Kulikov in the North Sea, with support from the French Navy and a Dutch November Hotel 90 helicopter. This is a serious, unprecedented action. But of course, I can't discuss with you the latest missile strikes on Russian territory because the missile and drone attacks on Russia are ongoing. What is known is that drones attacked a factory in Kopeisk in Russia's Chelyabinsk region. At night, drones attacked Ryazan and Skopin.
Maybe, damn. I really don't know for sure. It's honestly unlikely to be some kind of shell. Most likely it's something damn from a drone, or maybe something else that attacked.
Bryansk region, Trubchevsk is left without power. A thermal power plant is on fire in the Smolensk region. In addition, there was a Storm Shadow missile strike on the Bryansk chemical plant. It was working for Russia's military-industrial complex, according to the General Staff.
It's a complete nightmare. Things are escalating.
Friendly drones have flown over Makhachkala and Mordovia. There, the DAC oil products transshipment complex at the Saransk mechanical plant was attacked and is still burning.
It looks like it's about to fall. It fell! It really fell! Wow, it actually fell! Incredible!
A drone threat has been declared in the Leningrad region. A carpet plan is in effect in Velikopokovo, and a very important piece of news is that we are attacking railways and railway junctions. In Russia, according to PSKO, the railway to St. Petersburg was blown up. All military logistics have been halted. The FSB has cordoned everything off. This is brilliant work, as Roman Svetian says, by concerned citizens, yes, partisans. The explosion led to a halt in movement and disrupted the enemy's logistics, which will negatively affect the supply of Russian occupation forces. And most importantly, the cherry on top, just for you, it can carry up to 2,000 kilograms of cargo. The SBU demonstrated new generations of Sea Baby maritime drones. These drones have successfully passed tests during missions in the Black Sea, particularly during the third strike on the Kerch Bridge, when Sea Baby delivered explosives. According to SBU Brigadier General Ivan Lukashevich, the upgraded drones are capable of covering distances of more than 1,500 kilometers and carrying up to 2,000 kilograms of cargo. This is brilliant news. And finally, here's a bit more information for you. Mobilization in Moscow is compulsory. Let's put it this way. There are raids happening in Moscow. Men of conscription age are being detained in handcuffs and sent to the assembly point at Greshskaya metro station, according to Russian opposition human rights activists. So, with the help of facial recognition systems, conscripts are being caught between Novokuznetskaya and Tretyakovskaya stations, at Kievskaya, Bologskaya, Barikadnaya, Timiryazevskaya, and all over the city. Today, the Moscow metro has truly become dangerous. This only shows that Putin is facing serious problems in the economy. Problems with mobilization, problems with cannon fodder. And now there are large-scale sanctions, the 19th package of sanctions, which of course the European Union introduced this week. This is brilliant. This contributes to the destruction of Russia's military economy. Let's finish by talking specifically about the 19th package of sanctions and just how serious Europe is today about destroying the Russian economy.
This morning, we have already officially confirmed the 19th comprehensive package of sanctions targeting, above all, Russia's banking and energy sectors. And today, at this European Council, we made a political decision to improve and address Ukraine's financial needs for 2026 and 2027, including the acquisition of military equipment. And this is a very strong message to Russia. We have reiterated that we will support Ukraine for as long as it takes, no matter what. And now we are confirming this, and today we are making a political decision to improve your financial needs for 2026 and 2027. Welcome to your home, and I think we will have an excellent and productive European Council today.
So the EU has approved the 19th package of sanctions against Russia, reports Reuters. It includes a ban on the supply of LNG, liquefied natural gas, to the European Union, a complete ban on all crypto services for Russian citizens, and travel restrictions for Russian diplomats. Another 117 ships from Russia's shadow fleet have been added to the list. The sanctions also target banks in Kazakhstan and Belarus, as well as 4 companies linked to China's oil industry. And this is just the beginning. Friends, please like this video and write a few kind words in the comments to support Ukraine's armed forces, Ukraine's special operations, Malyuk, Budanov, and all our defense forces. Stay with us. Ukraine will definitely win. Let us know in the comments where you're watching us from, which city, which country, and a few kind words in support of Ukraine. Dear Ukraine, I am sending you rays of kindness and light. Even if you don't have light right now, know that we will definitely win. Glory to the armed forces of Ukraine.
Good afternoon, esteemed comrades. Today we have a scheduled training exercise for managing nuclear forces, as just reported by the Minister of Defense. Let's get to work. Please, the floor is given to the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation, Valery Vasilyevich Gerasimov. Please, Valery Vasilyevich.
Comrade Supreme Commander, during the exercise, we propose to practice the procedure for authorizing the use of nuclear weapons. Operational actions will be carefully carried out as planned. A strategically valuable missile submarine from the Northern Bloc of significant importance. Affirmative.
There are 2 cities in Ukraine that right now have been without electricity for several days. One city is Chernihiv, the other is Slavutich. Altogether, I checked, of course, I don't know exactly how many people live there now, but about 500,000 people currently reside there. Maybe a little less. About 500,000 people are living without electricity at all. There's just no electricity, none whatsoever. Accordingly, there's no heat, no communication. Basically, there's nothing. Well, practically, yes. Some people are using firewood. Maybe in some hospital, thank God, they're managing. There's a generator. There's some reserve of diesel fuel. But, you know, they say that in another day or 2, Chernihiv will simply come to a complete standstill. God forbid everything will stop. I don't know. Maybe it's a tactic. That's what they're writing. The Ministry of Energy writes that we can't repair anything. We can't even start repairs because there are constantly Russian drones there. They can't get close. I don't know if this is some kind of tactic. If this is really a tactic, I just don't know. What if you cut off power to a settlement first and then constantly prevent repairs, and in this way drive it into winter? You're asking, is it cold? Yes. For now, it's not that cold in Chernihiv, but in the Carpathians, it's already -8 with snow and frost, and no one knows how it's going to be. This is just now. This is just the beginning.
Zelensky and his team are still being provoked at this time by the Poles, who justified this terrorist act, meaning the attacks on the Nord Streams. And now the Poles themselves are ready to carry out terrorist acts. I heard here that Mr. Sikorsky reportedly and explicitly threatened that the safety of President Putin's plane, in the event it heads to Budapest for the summit proposed and likely by Trump, would not be guaranteed in Polish airspace. In other words, Poland, through an official court, the official court made a decision that provides justification for the terrorist attack against the Nord Streams. Now, the foreign minister is stating that if the Polish court demands it, they will take steps to obstruct the free movement of the Russian leader's plane. These are quite